To my friend Nate and all the listeners of this podcast, no one circles the wagons than Nate Discate. Circle the wagons, Buffalo.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Hey, hey, let's go Buffalo! Hey, hey, let's go Buffalo!
The Bills make me wanna shout.
Welcome to the Circling the Wagons podcast, a podcast discussing the Bills all year round with interviews, news, recaps, and insightful fan discussion. Most times. Here's your host and lifelong Bills fan, Nate.
Hey, Bills Mafia. Welcome to another episode of Circling the Wagons, a Buffalo fan base podcast. I am your host, Nate. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this tremendous victory episode, post-game recap episode, where we're going to discuss the Buffalo Bills squishing and cooking the fish 31-10. A lot of fun stuff to discover. The Bills continuing their dominance of the Miami Dolphins. I always put up memes about who is your daddy to the Miami Dolphins, and we clearly know who that is. That was the same tonight. The Bills win by 21 points. If you were to combine the last 12 victories or the last 12 games, including the loss that they had just a couple of years ago, the Bills win each game by about 14.5 points. And it was even more than that today. So the Bills crushing it. Again, just a tremendous win, divisional win. There was some small downsides that we're going to get into, but a lot more fun things, a lot more exciting things than that. So I'd like to welcome also my co-host, Mike, to the podcast. Mike, what is going on, brother?
What a win, Nate. It's been a long time since we've seen the Bills just put him away so quickly. He basically
put him in the ground.
Half off.
It basically, yeah, I know. Dude, I was doing dishes in the second half. I'm like, I have so much time. Doing my taxes, meditating for once in my life. Just had all the time. How was the interview I missed the interview with Fitz and Josh at the end. How was it?
It was great. They have amazing chemistry. I know so many couples, and no couple I know compares to Josh Allen and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's a good bromance right there. I do enjoy both of those people a lot. So lots to talk about, lots to get into, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining us. This is Circling the Wagons, a Buffalo fan base podcast. We are doing our post-game recap for this tremendous win. And let's start off, Mike. The Bills went down with injuries early in the game. They lost Terrel Bernard, their middle linebacker. They had already lost, Taryn Johnson the week before, Matt Milano a few weeks before that. Like, the Bills have lost in the last 2 weeks 3 significant starters. And, Terrel Bernard at the beginning of the game. The defense looked really good against this Dolphins offense, even before Tua got injured. I think that's one of the biggest storylines of the game, besides, it being just a dominant victory, is the defense just bouncing back from injuries and looking halfway decent.
Yeah, definitely. Huge surprise. Like, we've just gotten used to Allen playing hero ball and having to carry them week in and week out, it seems, and nail biters. So it's awesome to see the defense come through. How long has it been since we've seen a pick six?
You mean a TaINT? It's been far too long. It's been far too long since I've seen a TaINT. It feels like forever, if we're being honest. Like, I feel like if you go too long without,
you could see one a week, in my opinion.
I could go with seeing 2 a week for sure. I mean, that would make my day. If I saw one tomorrow, well, I can't see one tomorrow. It's a busy day for work, but if I could see one,
replay it in your mind.
I remember my first TaINT. I remember the first TaINT I ever saw. It was 1990. I was a young boy. No, I was thinking of that Nate Odom's interception for a touchdown in an Eagles game that I saw. But yeah, TaINT, a great TaINT. Dude, Jamarcus Ingram, not even like a TaINT from like a Taryn Johnson or a Rasul Douglas or a Christian Benford, a guy that you definitely expected from. It was like their 4th or 5th cornerback on the roster, So I mean, the Bills had 3 interceptions against Tua. Von Miller is making his resurrection, the resurrection of his career. He's vying for that comeback player of the year award in this game. Had a great game. Bills. I mean, Ed Oliver had a great game. I mean, the secondary. I thought Balin Spector looked good. Replacing Terrel Bernard. I mean, there was a lot to like about this game, and it was in Miami. It was right in Hard Rock Stadium. So that's exciting. Good game. Mike, when you saw, I know we're going to get into Sweet Sassy Molassy plays of the game later, but when you saw James Cook, one of his 3 touchdowns on the day, when you saw him just like run past Jordan Poyer, what were your thoughts as you saw that?
I was just thinking, Nate, go. What you say?
Yeah, it is. But what I saw was Poyer. It was just like nice.
Dude, I liked Poyer. I really liked Poyer for such a long time. Just a staple. Him and Hyde, they're the best tandem in the league, and we had not had that for so long. So I really still like him, I guess, but tougher when he's not wearing our laundry, I guess. But he seemed like a good dude. Always played with heart.
Yeah. It does.
Age, man. It comes for us all. Hate to see it.
Dude, death, taxes, age, father time, all come for us all. There's nothing you can do about it, right? You got to do the best you can, try to push through and pretend like it doesn't exist. But I saw that and I'm like, I like Poyer. I mean, I miss Poyer, but I miss like peak Poyer, like when he was all pro, right? This version of him he wasn't bad last year. I think he was above average, and I thought he had at least one more season like that, and I think he still can. But at no point tonight was I like, I miss him. Like, why don't we have him on our roster instead? Like, DeMar Hamlin had a pretty good game. He's had 2 pretty good games. So, it was an interesting game. Let's go into stats of the game real quick. Let's see. Stats of the game. Josh Allen. I do not think Josh Allen will win Wall of Fame this week on the podcast. He was 13 for 19, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. No rushing touchdowns either. Only 2 rushing yards on the day. So like a very, pedestrian stat line for Josh Allen, but almost the storyline of the game is he didn't need to do anything. I mean, he stayed out later in the game than I thought he would. I thought they'd take him out, midway through the third quarter, especially when Tua went out, but they kept him in. Bills leading rusher on the day, James Cook, 11 carries for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Ray Davis, 9 attempts for 29 yards rather. Khalil Shakir is the leading receiver for the Buffalo Bills, 5 receptions on 5 targets for 54 yards. Dalton Kincaid, 4 targets on 4 receptions, or 4 receptions on 4 targets for 33 yards. And then James Cook had that touchdown, a 17-yard touchdown reception. So great game by James Cook. Are we just going to give the Wall of Fame to James Cook, Mike? Should we just put him on the Wall of Fame, or do you have someone better? And normally we don't go right into the Wall of Fame, but I mean, it's got to be James Cook, right?
Man, with the stats, I think so. But man, I really wish somebody on the defense side of the ball, like Ingram, I have a hard time passing over him.
Ingram had a great game. But Benford had a good game. Ed Oliver, yeah,
I can't disagree with you.
It's hard with 3 touchdowns. Like, let's say he only had 1 touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns. You could possibly give it to somebody else on the defense, but it's just, just no one stood out on the defense specifically as much as James Cook. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I would give it to James Cook. I do like, I did like Jamarcus Ingram's game. I mean, that guy kind of Cam Lewis, Jamarcus Ingram. I always put those 2 together because they're both from UB alum, right? Both Buffalo Bulls. I mean, you got to love that. But Ingram had a great game for sure. Benford had a good game.
Dude, is this podcast isn't sponsored by FanDuel or anything right now, right?
Right? No, it's not.
Or DraftKings or anything like that. Because I'm not a big gambler, as you know.
You hate gambling.
Curiosity.
Gambling's one of your least favorite things to do. You barely talk about it. You're almost like, you're like almost a Mormon when it comes to gambling. But go ahead.
It's like a parasite. Doesn't add anything to society. But anyway,
100%.
I was in a gambling app. because curiosity got the better of me.
So anyways,
I'm looking to
I'm in
place
one of
a
my
bet.
10 gambling apps. Of course, as you
What
do.
else am I
Of course.
Like you're probably like me now. You need like a constant stream of dopamine. You can't just watch a movie. You have to be like on your phone at the same time, right?
Dude, I
So
don't
as soon as the
remember
Bills get up
last time-
14, when you're used to like living and dying every play, like come on, blah, blah, and you finally think they have a comfortable lead, a guy could be known to open an app. And one thing DraftKings tried to sell me on was like 2 minutes left in the game, like the starters are all out, and they're like, "Oh, here's a bet you might like: James Cook scoring 5 touchdowns in this game. 2 minutes left." I'm like, you guys think I'm an idiot? And so I click on it.
So of course I'd place a bet. Go ahead. What were the odds?
It's possible.
You gotta see the odds.
But the odds are only like they want you to say you bet $100. You only win like $1,600, and he's not even in the game. There's 2 minutes left, and they're just kneeling on it. Like, oh my gosh, what a scam!
They might as well have given you like 8,000 to 1 odds. Like just giving you the most ridiculous. Here's a bet you might like, you idiot.
So yada yada yada. That's $10 I'll never see.
Yada yada yada. $10 lighter. I'm here to say,
dude, he already had 3.
Did you ever hear that guy call up Rome? Where he was just like, "I'm the only one in my high school football team in history to have 4 fumbles in one game." And Rome is like, he's like, "That did not happen." He's like, "First of all, they would have benched you after the second one, and if not the second one, definitely the third one." That's you with like the gambling. well, $10 on it. No way the $10 is gonna. Well, we'll see. Maybe another $20. That's a funny bet. No way I'm gonna bet on this. So I put in $10. I wish you could bet on like Tua interceptions. I wish that was a prop bet. It's only for like yardage and stuff like this, So, yeah. But I mean, great game by. So we'll talk about we'll finalize Wall of Fame and Wall of Shame later. But
you're gonna finalize that whatever that's called on the screen too, right? Short week for you, huh? Quick turnaround.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you can tell. Oh, yeah. I'm in regular season 4, man. This is week 2. All right. I'm like, why would I want this? Why do I even want an example? It says show. Okay. Anyway, so Tua Tagovailoa, 17 for 25, 145 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, brutal concussion. By the way, on Tua, it wasn't even like it was such an odd, untraditional concussion, if there is one, because
totally. You used to seem like a helmet to helmet or something. It was like he ran into Hamlin's arm and kind of. I mean, it wasn't. You're just so used to seeing a defender coming in hot, and Tua just lowered his head.
Yeah, he lowered his head almost like into DeMar Hamlin's chest, and it wasn't like DeMar Hamlin speared him even. Like it was just he just stood there trying to get the ball or just to stand there. And I mean, it's just such a weird way. I mean, it wasn't dirty. You could not even attempt to argue that was dirty because you're used to seeing guys like dragged, like they showed his other 4 or 5 concussions on the screen, and they usually fell on his back. He was pulled down. He smacked his head on the ground or whatever. Like this was like he just ran into his chest. So
yeah, definitely like
an odd way.
Does it cast a cloud?
Cast a cloud over what? Over Tua? Over that victory? Oh,
no, I'm saying is that the right idiom? Like it put a cloud over it?
Oh yeah, dark cloud. If you're looking for a negative in this game, I'd have to say that it is the injuries on both sides. Starting with the Bills and then ending with Tua and a couple of other players in the Dolphins, but mostly Tua get a concussion. Because do you come back from that? Is this Tua's last game? I mean, he just signed that huge contract, but I mean, there comes a point where you have to think about that. Plus, I'm sure he got a lot of guaranteed money, right? So he's probably like the day he signed a contract, it was just $70 million in his bank account, just waiting to be deposited. So in guaranteed money. But how do you not consider, right?
I don't know. I think my mind didn't go there. I think that's more like back to back, right? Like I don't think he's done. I didn't think that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, totally. Me either. I didn't think that either. I just wanted to see if you thought that.
Way too strong of a take.
Let's see. Yeah. That's not. Are you kidding me? He'll probably be back in a few weeks. The Dolphins. I mean, it's funny just like how many people chose the Dolphins to win the division. I'm not saying that they can't win the division at all, but like their chances have gone down dramatically since the.
Wasn't it shocking to see that they were favored?
Just a few more stats of the game. Now, let's see. Von Miller with a sack today, tying Hall of Fame defensive end Dwight Freeney for the 18th spot on the NFL's all-time sack list. Jamarcus Ingram's first career pick 6 / TaINT marks the first time the Bills have tallied an INT touchdown in Miami since Preston Brown in Week 3 of 2015. Preston Brown, wow, that's a name from the past. Jamarcus Ingram recorded his second INT of the night, making him the first Bill with 2 INTs on the road since Jordan Poyer in Week 4 of 2022. James Cook's 3 touchdowns in the first half ties the most ever by a Bills in a first half. The feat had been accomplished 6 times previously and was most recently done by Isaiah McKenzie versus Miami in the 2020 season. That's crazy. Isaiah McKenzie had 3 touchdowns in one game. That was enough for him to stay on the team for about 6 seasons, I want to say. Pretty good stint. Jamarcus Ingram with 2 interceptions, Mike. Let's go into Sweet Sassy Molassy plays of the game.
Sweet Sassy Molassy, get out the checkbook and pay Grandma for the rub down.
Sweet Sassy Molassy plays of the game. I mean, there's several that were really good, Mike. But I mean, what was your Sweet Sassy Molassy play of the game in this victory?
For me, it was at Oliver's sack. I think there was like 4 minutes to go in the first half. On 4th down, Dolphins were driving up to that point, and that just the Bills got the ball in the turnover, immediately led to Cook's I think it was 49-yard touchdown. Very next play.
That was an awesome, sequential play for that one. Basically, just getting the sack, the turnover on downs. It was an amazing sack. I mean, just knifed right through. Ed Oliver had a great game tonight. You kind of hope that he would. I mean, the Dolphins' interior offensive line is really bad, but I mean, it's good to see him because he didn't do a whole lot in Week 1. At least, active plays on the game. So he had a great game. That sequential play of the turnover on downs, the sack, and then leading right to the 40. I mean, Cook has speed, man. Like, not even trying to put Poyer down, even at 31 or whatever Poyer is now. Like, Cook has speed. He's like one of the few running backs we've had since maybe LaShawn McCoy or before that CJ Spiller that, if he gets around the edge, like he could take it the distance. So, I love having that speed on the field, something the Bills have not had a ton of in recent years. And the fact that he beat out Poyer, like that kind of adds to that play, making it the Sweet Sassy Molassy play of the game for me too. If I had to give an honorable mention, I mean, how do you not give it to the TaINT, right? I mean, Jamarcus Ingram TaINT, his second interception, but the first TaINT of the game. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. I mean, it was just like Tua pressured. I think might have even been on 3rd down. Him just tossing it up. Jamarcus Ingram just seeing that ball just sit in the air. And then just because usually when the ball goes in the air, I don't know how you feel, Mike, in recent years. It's just like that ball just stay up in the air and nobody seems to go under it. I don't know. It's just like, is somebody going to catch that? It's like, it falls down the ground. It's got a hang time of like 10 seconds. No one's there. Right. And I thought that, but he just kind of came out of nowhere, snatched it, didn't dive or anything, didn't fall out of bounds, just caught it and kept on going. It was just like a chef's kiss of a TaINT. If you can say that. I mean, I've seen, dude, and this is coming from a guy who's seen a lot of TaINTs, okay? And a lot of good TaINTs. I've seen Matt Milano. Matt Milano just had a TaINT like last season or late last season. And so, I mean, that was good. So let's, Sweet Sassy Molassy plays of the game are all set. All right, let's go into Wall of Fame and Wall of Shame. Let's start with the Wall of Fame. Oh, I forgot this slide.
What the hell is that? It's coming up on the bottom.
It's comments from our amazing listeners and followers. Amazing viewers, listeners, followers. Awesome. Especially Buffalo Dill. Buffalo Dill's always on that. He's always giving a comment on Twitter or something like that. But yeah.
Bro,
TaINT
this
City.
is live.
This is, did I not tell you that? Did you not see the live button? And so for those that don't know, normally we do post this live, but we do some recording or editing, before that. And this is not one of those times. This is one of the few times that we can actually have comments. So
What?
no, I won't. No, don't tell me what to do.
Dude, is it at least please freaking tell me it costs them something to say that every time.
Oh yeah, like a super chat?
I don't know, but like at least
Something.
a dollar.
Just to get
But
their
if it was
name on the
where is
screen.
this on
know,
Twitter?
right? Seriously.
So the platform probably would get 50%.
It's on Twitter,
So if it's
Facebook,
$1, it
YouTube,
would be,
Instagram, wherever.
You'd get 50 cents. So you would have just made $1.50 from that person.
Yeah.
That's like a McDouble or a McChicken 10 years ago.
Yeah. 10 years ago. You mean the $6 McChicken? Yeah. The old 1-and-1. Mike and I, not that it's it matters, but Mike and I used to go all the time to get McDonald's like a cheap like when we were in our early 20s. In our early 20s / late 20s. No, we try to like get up the value meal, and because back then it mattered. Your purchasing power in like 2008 is probably the same as like today. Is like, yeah. I like that.
Bro, why weren't we going to the
probably 10
gym?
times better actually. So we did go to the gym. Remember we got that fake gym membership for that college that's right near where we live, and we found out that we didn't actually belong to that college. That they cut us off and we stopped going. At least
that was the thing
man,
about
we gave
us,
up
man.
so easily.
You hit the first sign of resistance, just give up.
the smallest speed bump, like barely over the pavement, and it's just like, nope, not gonna do it. I can't.
Dude, we just didn't know to just act like you belong. They probably sensed it the first day. Like, do you guys go here? And like, what? All you had to do is, keep walking.
Exactly. Yeah. We go here. Can I see your ID?
Don't worry about it.
Do I have to talk to the dean about this? Like, because it's not usually an issue. Oh, okay. You just got to intimidate. Well, first you act cool and confident and just play it off completely. And if that doesn't work, then you threaten. You puff out your chest, threaten to talk to their manager, and then when they make a big deal about it, just so you can save face, be like, "Hold on, it's in my car. Let me go get it," and you just drive away. So.
Never, ever show your face.
Never show. My name is John, co-host of the Circling the Wagons podcast, and I'll be back one day. Yeah. So, Wall of Fame. Let's start with Wall of Fame. Oh, whoops. Graphic still says the wrong. I got the wrong graphic. Thank you, Buffalo Dill, for saying that. I have the wrong graphic. I ment, Bills. This is still a new platform.
Dude, I told
for us,
you
okay?
had
I'm
the
still
graphic
figuring it out.
10 minutes ago.
I know. Well,
all right.
This one. Yeah, stats. Yeah, you're right. I got the first one right, though. I just,
no,
just pretend like
Bills,
this says
Cardinals, man, at the top, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like every single one is wrong.
Dude, are we just going to criticize? It's too late to be just critical.
Sorry.
No.
Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
Okay.
Talk about John, because John. He's not here.
Our co-host John is not here.
And he'll never listen, so
let's trash him. I mean, don't you love that? Is there anything better than just like crap talking? Like, not necessarily a friend like John is, but he won't listen to it. So I don't really care. But like, work or something like that. It's one of the best things to do with people. But have you ever done this, Mike, where like you're talking about something? So like, especially like politics, like I don't like talking about politics or anything like that. But like sometimes, like I will never say how I feel. If someone's like, "What do you feel about Joe Biden or President Trump or whatever?" Like I'd never say what I felt, but I'd give some very vague answer back and be like, "What do you think?" like, and then just to kind of get a feel for where they stand, because you don't want to go on a tirade about one or the other or whatever, and then be like, oh, they're actually my favorite person on earth. You're like, oh, well. So do you ever do that, or am I the only one that feels out the room? Like, I'll be
Very
like, oh yeah,
diplomatic.
Von Miller, right? Like, if I'm just like, Von Miller's the worst, and people would be like, actually, I like Von Miller. I thought he had a good game. You're like, yeah, totally. Like, I mean, he's stepping up, the backpedal. Yeah.
You're a people pleaser.
So let's get into Wall of Shame. If there's one of my biggest flaws is that I always try to please people. Yeah.
Your
Well, I don't
biggest
think that's a
flaw,
good thing. I
dude.
think
Your
it's a
biggest
sign
flaw
of,
is you're defensive.
what the hell I am. I'm the least defensive person in the entire world. Are you kidding me? I can't yell too loud that the wife and the kids are asleep, but
I do think
I want
Von
to yell
Miller,
at you.
Von Miller, dude, I think he showed us something tonight. Like consistent pressure on the quarterback could be a game changer for this team. And like having him at the edge, like in every passing down situation where he was in, it felt like he made an impact.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I saw it a little bit in the week one, but you never know. Sometimes things just break down and you fall into someone or someone falls into you. But yeah, this week, man, it's just a, imagine, I try not to get too excited. You the older you get, the more you try to temper life, right? Like you don't want to get too high. You don't want to get too low, but man, I want to be excited about Von Miller. Like I kind of expected him to be like 70-80% of his 2022 self, just because he's motivated, he's healthy for sure, finally healthy, not worried about that knee, and it's just, I don't know, all the backlash in the off season that he's taken, all the criticism. Like if he is truly a Hall of Fame caliber defensive end, a guy like that doesn't just fold and say, well, I guess that stinks. I guess I'm going to give up. Like those guys push through to prove that they're that good. So I'm excited to see that this is how it's going, because it could easily be going the other way. And the Bills are stuck with him no matter what. So they can't get rid of him for the cap. So Wall of Shame, Mike. I don't know how you feel. It's just got to be injuries. But yeah, I don't have anything better than that. Do you have anything better for your Wall of Shame? Wait, you want to see my Wall of Shame?
Specifically on the Bills.
My Wall of Shame.
So. I did not like Amazon, the announcers. I thought they sucked. You have an opinion on that?
Wasn't it Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit? I like Al
Herbstreit. Okay. Ugh. Well, at one point, what kind of turned me off when he was talking about the drought, like he had no idea. Bro, he just made 50 cents.
Dude, Buffalo Dill probably got like 5 more followers on Twitter. I like Al Michaels. So
I guess they took it personally when he was like, oh, before McDermott, the Bills only had a couple playoff appearances in the 20 years. And like, I took that personally. Like,
you're like Michael Jordan. And you're like, I took that personally. I'm going to be talking on a podcast later. Let's destroy Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. I don't know much.
It seemed like they knew much about the Bills, the team.
No, it didn't.
And very like lackadaisical. I mean, I get it once halftime rolls around and the Dolphins are kind of out of it in the fourth quarter, but I just thought, and no enthusiasm, no excitement. They need to have like Bills announcers on. Like it would be so simple to have like like you go to Amazon, right, and then you have the normal broadcast, and then you have a Bills broadcast, and you have a Dolphins broadcast. It'd be so simple.
So simple.
And you'd be like, yeah, be great.
Do you want to see my Wall of Shame clip?
Wait, I got one more. Kickoffs. It's terrible. Like a complete waste.
You hate the new kickoff rule?
Yeah.
What do you hate about it?
I just like it's a non-play right now. It's just pointless. But I always thought they would do a like kick it into the end zone and then do 3 beer commercials and a car commercial. But it seemed like last week they didn't do that. They went right into the play, right?
Yeah.
So at least I have to give credit there.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
Go ahead. What's your wall of you're not actively listening. You're just waiting for your turn to talk. Go ahead.
kind of cool and different. Did you even say anything? I'm sorry, I gotta let you speak. Did you actually give an answer? Like that? Let's go into Bill's Squish the Fish.
You didn't hear
If
that
you're
whole
not following us
rant?
on Twitter, please do at. No, I heard it. It's okay. It was I think there's a little bit of a buffering issue. We haven't done this live before. For some reason, my internet's not spectacular, or maybe it's yours. Probably yours. So
The
it's kind
hell
of
it
acting
is.
up. Dude, I even use this mask in COVID. I'm finding like chunks of like something in it. Yeah, nice.
Lung?
Dead skin. Who knows? Whiskers. I don't know. So if you're not following us on Twitter at CTW Pod or Instagram or Facebook or any social media, TikTok, whatever. Dude, why were we so late on TikTok? At first I'm like, it's not gonna go away. And then finally, after like 5 or 6 years of it being like dominant in social media, we're like, all right, finally I'll start an account. If I had just been one of the first ones to start, a Bill's meme account, we probably have like 100 million followers. Instead, we have 32.
Yeah.
I asked for
didn't even
people
know
like,
you
what's your
had a
hot take
TikTok.
after the win, after this Bills win? I don't promote it a lot because we have no followers, and that's okay. It's okay. What's your hot take on the Buffalo Bills win? Buffalo Dill writes, that's the damn fish sticks are going to make a million excuses and act like they're worth a bleep. Yeah, that's okay. I had a lot of Dolphins fans in my mentions because I did a lot of Dolphins memes. Maybe I'll do those real quick. Should I do show you my Dolphins memes before we even read these comments? Memes are fun, right?
Sure.
Maybe I'll do that. What, you think I care? Profile. I'm so used to doing this on my phone that I'm not as used to doing it. The Bills win, right? Let's see. Oh, here's our live video. This is weird. This is like seeing a mirror in a mirror. That's creepy. Okay. Oh, yeah. Who's your daddy? I don't know if the...
You. Uh-huh. And whose team is this? Is this your team?
Can you hear that?
Is this your daddy's team? Yours. Mm-hmm. Get on the bus.
Can you hear that, Mike? Or no? Phil Masterson says McDermott and Babbage absolutely cooked tonight with 3 major contributors out. Great to see Ingram making the most of his opportunities. Gotta love that McDaniel still has no answer for this Bills team. Dude, like I think we mentioned this at the top and Phil reiterated it. 3 starters out, Milano, Terrel Bernard, Taryn Johnson. You could argue 3 of their best starters or even some of their most important players on the defense with 3 of them out. And they look great. They look great tonight on defense. And what Philip said about Ingram, give credit to the coaching staff, not only for the game plan, but for developing these undrafted guys and turning them into starters. Like that's incredible. Coaching them up, developing them, all of that. It's one of the reasons, Mike, when everyone was calling from its head last season, I wasn't necessarily jumping on that boat because I'm like, listen, like they actually get a lot out of it. Sure, there's a lot of things that they can improve on, but they're better on so many things than they're worse on. You know what I mean? I wish I was in Buffalo. At Saxa Dave says Victory Friday is worth staying up till 4:30 a.m. That's right. Dave is in England. Love that we dominated the trenches. O-line was impressive and D-line came up clutch at crucial times. Can the injuries just stop now, please? I'm excited to hear Dolphins fans complain that they didn't play in the sun. That's funny. Andrew Freeman read. Richard W. Grizzle wrote, total team win. Allen, Cook, Shakir, Ingram, Oliver, Miller, brilliant. Bad luck for Tua. Yeah. What's good is injury, obviously a good thing. Chad Labrie says, absolute domination from start to finish. Von Miller is starting to show his old form. Buffalo continues to own Miami. Yep, we're at 12 out of 13 now. Louisiana Bills fan says, we have the best O-line in the league. Some gorilla emojis. Yeah, we do, man. Dude, there's a lot to... I've heard Eric Wood say on his podcast that Aaron Kromer, he believes is the best offensive line coach in the league. And I don't know, man, it's hard to argue with that. The Bills' offensive line is so important and has looked so good the last season and 2 games since Kromer came back in. Bill Lasso says Tua should never be allowed to play again for health reasons, but the Dolphins will still say he's good for week 3. Still, the Bills have broken the Dolphins franchise for the next 5 years. Man, I'm trying to think of a good analogy, Mike, of the Bills domination over the Dolphins, right? So, I mean, the closest thing I can think of is like playing video games with like your little cousin or something, you know, like a game that you've been playing since you were their age and they're like 8, now. Oh, what's this game? Oh, Madden. Oh, I wonder what this is, right? And you just pick it up and you just like drop them like 85-0, like 25 sacks, just absolute. It's like that. It's like that, famous Chappelle skit with a kid in the hospital, right? Like just, booyah, I'm trying to think of like another thing where you're just like, oh, it's almost like that Simpsons episode where like, the Homer's playing Krusty the Clown and he's beating up this other fake guy or this other hamburger guy. He's just the kids eventually it's supposed to be a gig, right? It's supposed to be just like a play where he's beating him up and he's just like, stop, he's already dead. There's just, it's almost like sad. I don't feel bad for the Dolphins, but it's just like that. You could see it in their eyes on the sidelines today. They're just like, what can we possibly do? You know what it reminded me of? A perfect analogy is playing the Patriots for freaking 12 or 15 years or however long, Brady was there. It was just like that over and over again. We're like, come on, can we not beat this team?
Good analogy.
Anyway, thanks. Did you like the cousin PlayStation 1 better or what? Patriots. Anakin Skywalker says
I like
this
the PlayStation 1, Nate.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. I thought you'd be more literal. I thought you'd be like, I need something completely black. I can't have any nuance to my analogies. Anakin Skywalker says this defense, just bravo to McDermott. Hungry, fast, disciplined, might need a local bar back to play middle linebacker next. Dude, we don't need him a local bar back unless he's talking about, he's saying Joe Andreessen. Gotcha. I think he's talking about Joe Andreessen. I don't know Joe Andreessen was a bar back or maybe that's just a thing he came up with, but that's funny. Joe Andreessen might be called up next week depending on the I think it's a pectoral injury for Terrel Bernard. I can't remember 100%. Cam Lewis, Benford, it's trending 2 weeks now of Miller time. Cook with hands is elite. Yeah, that's right. Good call on Cook. We didn't mention that. I mean, Cook's hands, I mean, they failed him at certain points, certain very important parts of last season, not this season so far. Knock on wood. JA17 hurt hand, doesn't get touched all night. Game ball. Big dubs. Michael Graham, where are you at? Say something now. Let's go Buffalo. Michael Graham just wants to fight someone tonight. You see that? It's like, where are you? Where are you? Give me your address. I'll dox you. Or Josh Allen doesn't need to do everything, and they proved that today. British Bill Dog says, if Bobby Babich isn't on the Wall of Fame, I will unsubscribe from your podcast. So help me God. Did we put Bobby Babich on the Wall of Fame? I think we put James Cook. Honorable mention, though, to the defense. I think I gave it to mostly the players, too. I think I mentioned Babich and McDermott earlier in the podcast, but I don't think I put them on the Wall of Fame. So definitely honorable mention there. You know what? I don't even care if British Bulldog unsubscribes, but could you give I wasn't saying individual players on the Wall of Fame, Mike, but you could give it to the defense as a whole, from coaching to players to game plan, like to dealing with injury. I mean, you might be able to put them on the Wall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Tyreek Hill is the scariest offensive player in the league, and just for the Bills D with all the injuries, just to completely neutralize them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, maybe 1A, 1B. I won't say which one is which. Big R says, our guy Big R in SD says, Tua should retire, be forced to take extended time from the game. I didn't like seeing his reaction to what didn't look like a crazy hit with Hamlin. And then they showed his quote unquote greatest hits, AKA all those old concussions. Yeah, that was, I mean, far be it from me to say what someone should do with their career, but I mean, it didn't look like a big hit. And I mean, I didn't see like the fingers thing, but I did see him after he took the hit, like his hand that wasn't even grasping the ball just balled up in his hand into a fist. And it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just didn't feel good. I mean, if you care about people whatsoever and you don't want them to be injured or have concussions or deal with CTE, which we know is a very real thing, then it always sucks to see that. AJ Tharp writes, forget cats in Ohio. There are dolphins being slaughtered in Miami by these guys in Buffalo crossing state lines. At this point, Josh needs to adopt the Dolphins because he truly is there, Daddy.
That's the best one in a while.
These cats in Ohio, these dolphins, that is the best one. Should I just stop right there? I think I might stop right there. Nothing's going to be as creative as that. Thank you guys all for tweeting in, being a part of the episode, being a part of the podcast. If you're not familiar with us, we are Circling the Wagons. We've been doing this will be our 7th year doing podcasting for Bills games, post-game podcasts. We do off-season podcasts. We do interviews. We do all that stuff, all that fun stuff. And yeah, we just joined the Buffalo Fanbase Network. So if you're seeing us on the Buffalo Fanbase Network, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, comment, smash that subscribe button, or whatever people say. Yeah. Thanks again for listening. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. All the podcasts is available wherever you listen to podcasts. You can just search Circling the Wagons, or you can check out the Buffalo Fanbase Podcast Network, which we just joined this preseason, this training camp area. So it's been a lot of fun. First time doing videos. And as you can see by still having the Bills Cardinals graphic up, which Mike and Buffalo Dill so eloquently pointed out. Yeah, we're still working on it. It's still a new thing. But we're getting there. Each week it's going to get a little bit better. We have the growth mindset as a podcast, is that each week, we're going to suck a little bit less, just a little bit less. But anyway, Mike, anything else that you'd like to add on this Buffalo Bills victory recap episode before we call it a night and try to get some sleep?
No, sir. It's a great game. It's fun to watch, and we'll look forward to next time.
Yeah. Thank you guys all for watching, for listening, for viewing, for following, for subscribing, for everything. If you liked a meme that we posted, if you shared it, super appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Please sure to check us out next week, the next game. Geez, I don't even know who they're playing next week. I haven't even thought about, just with a 4-day turnaround.
The Jags on Monday night.
The Jags on Monday night. Ooh, long rest. I like it. Maybe Bernard or Johnson will be back by then. All we can do is hope. So, yeah. So thank you guys all again for listening. John should be with us. Our co-host John couldn't make it this week, but he should be with us next week. Well, we'll see. It's a Monday night game. He couldn't do this night. Maybe he can't do Monday night either. We'll see.
He doesn't like the night or the darkness.
He doesn't like, quote unquote, work and doing things. So, yeah.
If it's not convenient for him at all times.
So he's probably I like how on your screen your quote finger marks are blurred out.
You don't know what I'm doing.
Oh man. All right, thank you guys so much for listening. So signing off for Mike.
Go Bills.
For me, Nate, go Bills. Thank you all again for listening. And check us out in the rest of the podcast network. YouTube channel streams out this coming week and weekend and next week. And go Bills. We'll talk to you guys again soon.
I can't breathe in this mask, bro.
Buffalo, hey, let's go Buffalo, hey, let's go Buffalo. Find the sound in the parking lot. We got the tailgate down.
Thank you for listening to the Circling the Wagons podcast. Download and subscribe to us in your favorite podcast service. Email us at ctwpod@gmail.com. That's Charlie Tango Whiskey Pod@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CTWPod. And most importantly, go Bills!
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, Nate.
Well, listen, the whole show is called Circling the Wagons. Say no more. I love it.